Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up. What's up? Happy Monday. Welcome in. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, and Nicholas Moreano with you. Glorious day in Chicago. What's happening?
How hot is it in Naperville?
Great question by Lawrence.
Not as much of a lake breeze there, which Carm doesn't believe in, so it's probably a few degrees warmer.
Let's all move to Naperville. It's out of Cook County.
Our guy Mike Allardyce moved there.
There you go. The Dice is in Naperville. I mean, everybody's going to Naperville.
President of U.S. Soccer now.
I'm sure they've got
awesome.
a great.
I don't think he's the president, but he will be eventually.
He's the president of the world. Dice is going to be after 2028 Dice, but. I'm sure they got a great Target out in Naperville. I think an excellent excellent Panera, really good, probably 14 Starbucks.
Oh my God!
Probably.
Oh, I would set you're way low on that number.
All right,
there's got to be more than
30.
14 Starbucks.
125 Starbucks that we could all go to in Naperville will be great. Let's go to Naperville to watch the Bears.
I will never go to a Bears game in Naperville.
What did you
I'll
say?
never go to a Bears game in Naperville.
Really?
I mean, mainly because it's not happening. But
Yes, that's true.
other
And
than
also
that,
because we have
no
to be
thanks.
here on Sundays, but Nick's got to go there.
Yeah, I'm only still 8 months into my lease in Arlington Heights, so I was looking
you can
to
move
kind
to
of.
Naperville.
I was looking to kind of stay in the area,
They
but
don't have a Bears fit there though.
not yet.
True.
Shout out to Adam Wolf. Naperville sucks. Thank you for that.
Where does that come from, Animal?
The Naperville Bears.
Yep.
That gets exactly who excited outside of like
The people in Naperville.
38% of the people in Naperville who would want the Bears, and the other 62.
Well, let's get into this a little bit. Welcome in. We are going to have a somewhat serious stadium conversation because this is an interesting development. It's not a surprising development to me, although I do think that there's some details coming out in the Arlington Heights situation that are somewhat significant, quite frankly. So we'll get into all of it. I am wearing the only Bills shirt I own for DeMar Hamlin today. Just congratulations to a team this morning that was actually able to break ground on a new stadium. However, they got way too much funding from the state of New York, which I do not recommend the state of Illinois doing. I think $850 million from.
Let's not do that.
I mean, that is.
But that's
insane. Just to get the Bills a new stadium.
Love their Bills.
Looks cool though.
Well, we're trying to do it the other way as we get into the serious conversation.
Yeah. Well, so this came out Friday after solid Friday news dump. A little meeting between Kevin Warren and the mayor of Naperville. But I thought the stronger thing was that the Bears came out and confirmed it. No longer our only option, Arlington Heights, which they've been very, very clear on. They had to be clear on before they closed on the property because legally under the contract they were not allowed to look at other sites. So they close. Kevin Warren's a new president. The one thing I feel very confident about with Kevin Warren is I do think he's going to do his due diligence and find the best opportunity that makes sense for the Bears. And there's going to be some politics involved along the way. But what we're learning here is that some of the hurdles are a little bit more significant than I think we thought. The known hurdles in Arlington Heights are them agreeing on how much public money is going into it, which I'll give the Bears credit from the start. They seem to not be asking for too much. They seem to be asking for infrastructure, for the development, for the part of that is now. I don't necessarily know what the exact specifics are there, but it seems like a reasonable ask, and I do think it is reasonable to ask for some public money just for the infrastructure of a new development, just like any other development would get. There was a hurdle with the school district that I know still exists because they're worried about an influx of new students that would live in this area, which is a fair concern. They got to work all that out. But what appears to be the biggest issue now is the property tax.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I've learned some things about this because it does seem like, as we sit here as peasants, like, oh, good for you, Bears, that you could just ask for a property tax freeze. That sounds nice. But I honestly didn't really realize, shout out to Mark Gannis, who was on the score this morning, some of the information that he shared this morning, that most NFL teams, most sports franchises don't pay property tax on their stadiums.
Yes, and they also don't get their property taxes hiked way up once they buy a property, acquire land, which is apparently what's happening in Cook County, which has done an absolutely horrendous job of accounting.
Essentially, they are assessing the land at the land that is currently vacant and in the process of being demolished. That land is now being assessed at double what Churchill Downs was paying in property tax. Mm-hmm. So to put this, like, it's not exactly apples to apples, but Carm, if you were to buy a vacant house and knock it down to rebuild on it, and at the point that it was being knocked down, that land was suddenly being assessed double property tax as what it was before with the vacant house on it, you'd probably have second thoughts about building on it, wouldn't you?
You would certainly look at your options, I would think, and that is what Kevin Warren is clearly doing. And there's a reason why the Bears hired Kevin Warren. They probably had some level of foresight that this was not going to go smooth. And we'll get to more of this on the back end here because we don't need to go into my love of the city of Chicago too much. But the Bears are going to meet, reportedly, in that same interview with Mark Gannis, with David Haw and Mike Mulligan. They're going to meet with the Bears. The Bears in Chicago are going to meet, as has been reported, about a potential new site for a Bears stadium in the city.
Now, to be clear, Mark Gannis was told of a meeting between Kevin Warren and Brandon Johnson. He then added his own context to it that he assumes that it would be about a possible stadium site.
Well, I don't think they're talking about dating.
Right. However, I would also hope that Kevin Warren would just sit down with and get to know the new mayor of Chicago. You're new. Idea. I'm new. Our stadium where we play football is in the city of Chicago right now. I mean, I guess my point is, like, you'd hope they would meet. You'd hope that with the new mayor there would be a different approach. Just think about how it was with the last mayor. It was ugly by the end. Mm-hmm. They weren't talking. They weren't friends. So stadium or not, I would hope that there's some type of meeting and get together between the two sides.
Lori was either too mad about the football team that she was a fan of and was sick and tired of them losing, which was insane. Maybe you should try beating the Packers. I'm like, okay, calm down. We're doing business here. We're not talking about football.
Is that how she said it in the statement, too?
I mean, it was pretty angry. It was an angry thing there. Angry Lightfoot comment. And then, I don't think she fully realized that, like, there are other options out there. Brandon has an opportunity here. I don't know how much of an opportunity.
Well, before we get into that,
yes, keep going.
Let's.
He's got an opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
For the record, I actually called this guy before the show, before I got in here, and I said, you are not allowed to talk about any Chicago opportunities until the second segment, because I know your brain is going to keep. Nick, help me keep the train on the tracks here, okay? Because his brain is going to keep going to that. We are going to talk about that, but I want to focus on what happened with Naperville.
Okay,
first,
keep going.
Because I think what we have to keep in mind here is Arlington Heights is still in Cook County. Mm-hmm. And Cook County taxpayers are still stuck with the awful deal that was signed 2 decades ago to renovate Soldier Field in what has been nothing more than a wonderful venue for Taylor Swift and Kevin Kaduk over the weekend.
And 149,999 other people. That was
They had a
impressive.
blast.
Yeah, and
You
he
went?
won't. He
No.
he
It
refuses
just
to
looks
tell me
all
how
over
much he
social
paid.
media.
oh.
He's not telling me.
Yeah, I did.
I just said how did you get in there, and he's we
I
made a
just
pact
did.
not to tell. Okay.
That's how he got in.
They paid money.
Yeah, I asked how much.
Lots of money.
Are we sure it was money?
Oh, maybe.
he won't
I mean,
tell anyone
Kevin's
about
very
it?
talented in many ways, so I suppose anything's possible.
Not sure if he's listening anymore.
Two
I don't
minutes
think
out.
he is.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting at here is seeing Cook County get involved in politics over, like, this is clearly a political move. Yeah, we're going to jack up the property tax. We're going to ask you to do something that apparently few, maybe none, according to Mark Gannis, NFL teams have to deal with anywhere else. And so that's the card they played. After the Bears closed on the land and started demolishing it. You could question the Bears for the timing of their actions on that. You would think that maybe this would have been something you would have figured out before you closed on the land. But it's interesting to me that Naperville, I don't think it's an accident that insert X city that is being used as leverage in this. That city, town, village, whatever, is located outside Cook County. Because I think that is the natural play that you make if you're Kevin Warren. Isn't Naperville what's Naperville up to in population? Second, third largest in Illinois?
8 zillion people.
Close to Aurora, which is
I
up
mean,
there
all the
too.
Starbucks,
Close to close-ish to Joliet. I mean, I think you undersold it earlier in one of your comments, Carm. Like, there's a lot of population out there. There's
Up to about 150 as of 2021. 150K.
50. Okay.
okay. So, I think in this game of chess that the Bears are playing with local politicians, going to a viable option out of Cook County makes a lot of sense.
2021 American Community Survey, Chicago 2.7 million. I know Lawrence just said this, but I'm just going through it. 183 Aurora, 150 Joliet, 149 Naperville, 148 Rockford, who's also been mentioned.
They've also, yeah.
They're not going to Rock.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I think just for the Bears.
What up,
though,
Taylor?
For the Bears, like, their goal, remember, building the largest single development project in Illinois. Like, you don't have that goal in mind without also having in mind that you're going to run into some obstacles.
Yeah.
So, like, this whole idea that obviously the property tax and what's going on now, I think that, Kevin Warren had to have thought about that. The Bears thought about that. The more I read into this, think about, like, just going into this whole politics that goes into trying to, again, reach that goal, the property taxes that spiked from what the Bears thought was going to be $37.2 million to what it's now worth at $150 million. Like, how do you get to that number? Like, as I'm kind of looking into what the Bears are thinking the value's at and what the city of Arlington Heights is, because it's such a large discrepancy. And that's obviously where the problem's lying right now. Like you mentioned, the area school districts, they want that tax money or the property tax to be higher because that, funds the property, right? Or so it's crazy to think that these numbers are so different, but I think it all goes back to leverage, right? For the Bears, like, hey, we're going to go reach out. They did their due diligence on the quarterbacks, right? With Justin Fields, the organization did. I think they're doing the exact same thing right now, looking into these other places, but...
Right, but I think you're right, Nick. And also, we're down the road here. They purchased the property.
Exactly.
Demolition started last week. So you do have to wonder at least a little bit, did they show their hand
A little too early
here, not realizing what was coming?
Well, look, but
It's hard to say that that's the case because they had to buy the property was there to be bought. Are you going to do it or are you not going to do it?
yeah, but the one thing to keep, you're not wrong about that, but the one thing to keep in mind about that is property's valuable whether they put a stadium on it or not.
Sure.
I mean, that is a prime piece of land.
Sure. The Bears could just be a real estate developer.
It's going to get developed. Or they could flip it, And even if they end up losing some money in that deal, which I doubt they would, they'll be able to make up for it elsewhere with wherever they build their own stadium. Keep in mind that getting this done, getting that stadium built and up and running is going to immediately increase the value of the franchise. And even if they don't, the value of the franchise is going to, by the time the stadium's done, is going to be worth a lot more because that's just what's happening with these with franchise values.
Well, and I think that's the argument on the tax side that Cook County is trying to squeeze here. Look, you guys are going to develop this land. It's going to be worth a ton. It's going to be worth a ton to you. So we're going to charge you for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about the history of these stadiums and why they're not paying property taxes other than important billionaires getting away with sweet deals that the rest of us don't. But I certainly can understand the position of the Bears if they really are being asked to pay a lot more than any other NFL team is in property taxes because that's what they're going to compare it to. But again, unless something was misreported, they just want tax certainty. I don't think anyone's sitting there saying we're not paying any property taxes. But and I also understand their position. We shouldn't have to pay double what Churchill Downs was paying on an empty, vacant lot of land right now.
Yeah, the Bears statement says it fails to reflect the property is not operational right now, which it's not, and not commercially viable in its current state. And that's where the Bears are upset about. Why it's 3 times higher than what Churchill Downs bought it for in 2022 or 2021.
Yeah, negotiation, which is probably going to continue for a while here. But I'd like to, can we do a quick informal poll before we get to segment 2?
Love informal seriously.
Naperville 1, Arlington Heights 2.
I already have a YouTube poll.
Oh, you do?
Just those two.
Just those two?
I did. I said, which would you rather they move
How's it
to?
going so far?
It's like 82% Arlington Heights.
Yeah, exactly. Bears fans are not going to be happy about going out to Naperville if that's what happens. That is Naperville. Arlington Heights is far. Naperville is far, far, far. I mean, that is serious Western burp.
Yeah.
Might as well be in Iowa.
I'm going to go to Naperville.
You were making friends in Naperville today.
I got nothing against Naperville. Great, lovely train ride, too, to Naperville that you can have to Arlington Heights. But it's... I'm sorry, I can't get excited about having the Bears in Naperville. I grew up in Highland Park. I wouldn't be excited about the Bears being in Highland Park either.
I just can't picture the McCaskies in Naperville. Arlington Heights is still home-ish.
Home-ish. We can go back to Decatur. My red pillow on the comments here said, let's go back to Decatur.
That is where I draw the line.
No.
I drove to Decatur one time for that Bears 100 press conference. They made us drive out to Decatur for.
Never been.
No.
I mean, I've seen people in the comments have mentioned Salt Lake City as an option.
Wait, what?
Yeah, who was it? That was Brandon.
Naperville.
He said, could they just build a new stadium in Salt Lake City, still be the Chicago Bears, just a bit longer of a drive?
I mean, that is next to Naperville, right?
I saw someone said Des Moines. A couple people saying Decatur, like you said. Gary wants them in McHenry County.
I think it is smart for the Bears to look at options outside Cook County because and honestly, it might be in their best interest to get out of Cook County.
Well, that's where they're in.
Lake County? Let's see. Where can we go?
I mean, I live in Lake County. My property taxes are actually higher than Cook County, but there's a lot of other pluses from not being in Cook County.
Yeah.
I mean, Naperville, as I'm looking at it here.
You do know where Naperville is without looking at a map on your phone,
I just want to know how long it would take to get out there right now.
There's a big
From
building
this
with
spot
an
in the
I
west.
guarantee you if I can get there faster, I can get home on the Kennedy right now.
Yes.
That's correct. 44 minutes.
It's not bad.
No, so maybe my take is wrong. It's next door. It's right down the block.
It's not
Naperville.
next door, but it's basically as far as Hal's Hall is.
Yeah, it's all the same. Naperville, Arlington.
How many miles is it?
31 miles.
That I think is actually less than put a Hallis Hall in from our location. I think Hallis Hall is farther.
I'm looking.
29 miles.
Bang bang. You apologize to Naperville right now.
They're in play.
Naperville, I don't want the Bears to play in your city, but you're not as far as I thought you were. Naperville. That's what I'm willing to do.
Yoshino, $5. As someone who was born and raised in Naperville, as
Arlington Heights is 22 miles, so it's 9 more miles.
yeah, as it is cool to
Middle of
hear
Virginia
the
Super
news,
Show.
I'm not sure where the stadium would go without clearing out land. That's another part of this.
Apparently, there's an old BP campus on the east side. Yada yada, could be cleared out.
Don't know enough about Naperville to weigh in on where that stadium would even be.
Naperville's a nice area.
Lovely area. Go see the Kane County
180.
Cougars. Let's go.
Just so I can be consistent here, because people thought like originally you want Arlington Heights because you live closer to there. I don't. I'm on record. I would rather the stadium stay in the city. It's just not happening, which we'll get to in a second. Carm's got a plan.
I do have a
Hashtag
plan.
Carm for mayor. I just want there to be the best stadium, wherever the hell it is. Needs to at least have a roof that's retractable. I don't think they're going to go that route, but it needs to be able to host bigger events.
Just up to date, man.
And just for once, can the city of Chicago have a real stadium? That would be nice. So, all right, we're going to hear Carm's plan next, but first.
Well, first, shout out to JL LaForgue Esquire. Carm, Loud Road. Loud wrong. Always has been. It's my guy.
Lard wrong?
Loud wrong. Esquire. Is that a magazine?
Sounds like one.
It's kind of
Esquire, yes, is a magazine, but also some people use it.
probably
on their-
wrong about him being a magazine, but that dude's a
probably.
magazine. Go ahead, Hope.
Dude's a magazine. Not a magazine, but an amazing television service. Fubo TV, 140 plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream live TV from any device. You can watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. You can start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. No contract, no cable, no hassle. You just sign up, you start watching, you get 1,000 hours of cloud DVR, which is included at no extra charge. Competitors will charge you extra for that. Fubo does not. You can watch your local teams while traveling, which is an extra perk. And they got the WNBA. They got the NHL draft coming up. Connor Bedard's coming your way to a city near you. NBA playoffs. I didn't even turn the game on last night. All of a sudden saw that the Nugs lost.
Great game. It was entertaining.
That would be 2 lunches that Gregory P. Allen Braggs owes me.
Oh,
you bet
yeah.
a lunch over
Yep.
the game?
He's like, they're going to sweep them. They're not sweeping. They're going to sweep. You want to bet a lunch on that? I shouldn't, but yes. Okay.
On Friday's show.
2 lunches.
I did hedge appropriately, so I'm good to go either way. I love it. You got the Cubs on Marquee with Fubo TV, and you got the White Sox on NBC Sports Chicago. Use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
Man, these Shady Rays are so polarized. I have to have my laptop just the right angle so I can tell you all about their great product. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades and affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn here at CHGO. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. I have my Shady Rays on literally right now. I know I look good in them, and I know my eyes are protected. And what's awesome about these Shady Rays is if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is going to give you the best deal of the season. Go to ShadyRays.com and use the code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more polarized shades. Try for yourself. The shades are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
All right.
All right, Carm, you going to tell us your plan?
Is it the same as Justin Frost, who says for $2, he says, why not Lake Michigan, like Lightfoot suggested? Is that your plan?
Could build it out. It's not terrible, Justin.
Just build it out on the
floating
water.
stadium.
Build it out on the
Floating
water.
stadium.
That'd be dope.
Look,
How would a floating stadium impact field goals if it was a really windy day with good swell coming in from the east?
New York is built on water. Why can't we build a stadium on water, even though it's sinking into the water? Listen, you can look at me the way you just looked at me, and you can chat about my Bears in Chicago thing as ridiculous, and that's all fine. But the reality is that there is a little bit of a snafu here, and we
Good
do,
word.
and we thank you, and we do have. Correct me if I'm wrong. A new mayor.
True.
Who can have a new conversation with a new president
Yep.
about a old city where a historic franchise has always played, and it just from everything that everyone talks about, Soldier Field's done, and if they are meeting, they're reportedly meeting about a new site, but I still think in my logical business supreme real estate mind that I like to lean on, City of Chicago's broke. They've got a very expensive piece of land, a premium spot in the entire world, sitting there right on the lakefront that could be, in my mind, for sale to the Bears. The Bears buy the land. They own it. They build their exact stadium that they want right there. Put up some, you give them, you want to put up some sweet condos on it too and make millions of dollars on these condos. They just rebuilt the Trib Tower into all these condos in a premium spot. They tell me you couldn't build some awesome condos looking out on Lake Michigan right over there. Of course you could.
Where are you putting all that?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. There's
It's a huge campus.
You don't have access to the campus. Everything is protected.
Yeah.
Right. But it's
Go
only
back and read about the George Lucas Museum.
Yes, I understand all that, but like things change. The city's broke.
Nothing's changing. That's the problem.
Right. That is the problem, and that's why we're going backwards right now with the deal in Arlington Heights because because there is no creative thought ever, and nobody wants to think logically. Where is this going? If you're the city of Chicago, where is this going for you? They leave, you're stuck with the stadium, and Taylor Swift comes here once every 28 years, and the rest of the time you've got the Chicago Fire and Rush coming in, and there's 12,000 people in there, and you have
Rush? Chicago Rush? Right.
the band.
band?
I'm just naming.
Okay. I was just curious.
Someone Google when Rush's last concert is.
Whatever, doesn't matter. You get the point. The Grateful Dead aren't coming back either, but. You could if creative thought was allowed, and by the way,
now hold on. I am going to push back as much as anyone else is. As Steven says that the Illinois Supreme Court already ruled that the lakefront has to be public land. This city was built on it being public land. It's like
on rock and roll.
No, that's.
Let me ask you something. Was there a Miggs Field out there at one point?
I believe yes.
Yes, there was. And then in the middle of the night, they just destroyed Miggs Field.
Right.
That was badass.
They had no more. Getting rid of that.
Right, but the whole
Wasn't
point,
it written somewhere that you couldn't do that?
The whole point of the
Carmen,
city.
what is it now? What is Meigs Field?
It's
Northerly
lakefront
Island.
property.
It's a park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a
Public
park
space.
because they can't do anything else with it.
I just don't think that there is enough creative thought to this was written down.
It's not
this was
creative
written-
thought.
Yes, it is.
It's Illinois politics.
Right. Somebody wrote that once, and time is going to go on.
I don't
You're
disagree
gonna
with
be-
you, but it's not happening.
Well, I get that it's not happening.
Brandon Johnson and Kevin Warren, as powerful as they might be, are not going to be able to change
That's
that.
probably that's probably correct. 99.9. I get it, but I'm not talking to Brandon and Kevin about that part. I'm talking to people who are sitting here in a state that is broke, in a city that is broke. We could have a win-win, and now apparently they're going to meet and they're going to talk about another location in the city somewhere. Okay. I'm interested. You've got my attention. I don't think it's going anywhere like everybody else. I think they're going to end up in Arlington Heights, and the Bears are going to try to create the best possible deal that they can possibly make. But, you know,
has Rush ever played at Soldier Field?
Look.
That's her.
we are all prisoners, apparently, of
You
the...
made a fan, by the way, Carm.
Who's my fan?
Jail LaForge Esquire. He said a Rush reference made by Carm. He's now right about everything always for me.
There you go, Esquire, who's not a magazine owner, apparently is a lawyer. So maybe you can come on the show and talk about the law and how laws can be changed for the better of this city and sports fans and everybody else. What are you looking at? Rush's history right now?
No, list of events at Soldier Field. Not really updated that well, though. According to, it doesn't even mention Taylor Swift.
I'm with my red pillow. Lower Whacker Bears. Let's go. That's awesome down there. It's a great way to get to Soldier Field, Lower Whacker, over to the drive.
Oh, look at that coincidence. According to Miles, Rush played at Northerly Island, formerly Meggs Field. In
Rush was my first ever concert. Just want that on the record. And no offense to Esquire, I didn't really have a good time.
Oh, no. You just got him on your side.
I got it. Hey, our relationship is going to be built on honesty. I thought it was okay.
Just
look.
Now look,
okay, go ahead. What do you think that meeting between Brandon and Kevin's going to look like?
Well, first of all, to be honest, I hope the number one item is repairing the relationship between the city and the team.
Yeah.
A good start.
Because the relationship is shit right now.
Absolutely.
And they need to fix that. They cannot, regardless of it, this stadium's built elsewhere, wherever it's built, the Bears are going to have to play at Soldier Field for a long, long time here. For at least half another decade, probably longer. And right now, if they can't get the Chicago Park District to respond to their freaking emails,
right,
they got to fix that. So that should be the number one item at that meeting. If they want to discuss other possible sites in the city, they probably go back to that Olympic plan that had, an idea for the temporary stadium. Was that Washington Park?
I'm not sure, but yes, that's
on the south side. There are other pieces of land. I don't know that it would have been big enough, but there was once that idea for a Chicago Fire Stadium at the old steel mill, just west of Lincoln Park. And I think that's being developed into something else now.
Yeah, that's Lincoln Yards. That was a whole other giant corporate BS thing.
But like that would have been, now that's way too far down the road now, but like that would have been a great situation potentially right off the highway. I don't know. I'm sure there's other ideas that can be thrown out there.
Right. Listen,
Naperville can get a meeting when they don't even really have, an obvious spot for it.
Right.
True.
And by the way, there wasn't going to be a casino put in River North ever. Now we're getting one of those. Why are we getting that? Because we're broke. Because we're going to try to raise money. Because some people, I'm sure, are getting fat off of it.
Yep.
You tell me that couldn't happen with a nice, beautiful new stadium that we don't have to travel out to Montana to go to? By the way, if I'm the Bears right now, maybe we should start looking at other states. This state sucks. Let's do that. That's not happening either, but...
Read Renetta Super Chat.
Super Chat, $5 from Renetta. I'm feeling everything you're saying, Carm. At City of Chicago, tagged you on Twitter, the video. I mean... We're like peaches and cream, me and Renetta at this point.
Who tagged you in what?
I did my video.
Oh, and then added the city there.
I did my video. Hoge comes on there and says Carm's duped.
Well, you did exactly what Kevin Warren wanted you to do.
So?
Smart man.
I see opportunity.
We're going to put this out there. We're looking at other options. We're going to have everyone freak out about it. Put the pressure on Arlington Heights.
I didn't freak. I just got excited.
Yeah.
You know they don't want to leave the city. At least they didn't for a long time. Now, and then they finally got pushed out of it because it was just that toxic.
They want to get the hell out of Soldier Field. I know that for sure.
They want that new stadium.
Correct. They do. They want a new stadium.
Their own stadium.
Send that thing right into the ground. Build it back up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know the pillars; those are landmarked. No one cares about the pillars. Not a single person.
The colonnades.
The
right?
whatever.
Colonnades.
No one cares. I don't know how we'll live without those. We'll do a tremendous tribute to all the soldiers. My father fought in World War II. I'm sensitive to that, but it's not that column it's doing it for
Right.
me.
They can have plenty of ways.
There's
to
a
still
million ways to have
Yeah.
a tremendous,
Respect,
tremendous honoring of the people that have fought for this country.
Look, it's just the reality. We don't do stadiums well in Chicago.
Yes,
We don't.
that's correct.
Our best stadium was basically only renovated because it took the owner buying up the neighborhood around it.
Right. Just took matters into his own hands.
And it still has many issues. Although, shout out to the troughs at Wrigley Field.
Shout out to the dude that dropped his phone in the trough when I was there early in the season and
Remember
picked it
that.
up and just continued talking. That's my guy.
God.
That dude can figure out how to get the stadium done.
I mean,
You
that
need
guy's
him.
Chicago right there. That is a power Chicago move. You're not even a Chicagoan if you've never dropped your phone in a trough at Wrigley Field and picked it right back up.
That is, yes, and then gone and had a hot dog with mustard. Way to go. Drag it through the garden. Super that, $20 from Kevin
Super
Carlson.
what?
Super that.
Super chat. I'm getting worried about myself. Soldier Field is not the best fan experience. Arlington Heights seems like the perfect opportunity to build Jerry World 2.0. The Bears organization has the chance to build something special for a stadium experience. Kevin,
I agree with you.
a lot of people agree with you, Kevin.
Well, and I think
Completely
that that's a good place to kind of end this stadium conversation because, the reality is that piece of land could not be more perfect
Yep.
for exactly what the Bears need and want, which is why they bought it. And so Cook County, Arlington Heights, whatever, they feel like they have the Bears backed into a corner or whatever to make sure that that's the – and they're going to do this. I still think the Bears have more leverage in the end. I think Kevin Warren is doing the right thing right now to look at other options. But at the end of the day, Arlington Heights wants the Bears there too.
Exactly, yeah.
And Cook County needs the Bears to stay in Cook County so they can get that $3 tax on every ticket. Because I tell you what, they go to Naperville, you ain't getting that $3 tax probably to pay off the stupid stadium deal you made at Soldier Field. So that's the leverage the Bears still have. And that's the leverage the Bears will play. And at the end of the day, I think the thing gets done in Arlington Heights at the former Churchill Downs site. And Carm,
It's going to love that
at
stadium.
least the good news is you don't have to drive to Naperville, but you're not getting a stadium in Chicago.
You can go on the Bears website right now, you guys. And Arlington Park just pops up right there. This is where it's going to happen.
They ain't getting rid of
You
it.
can see the city of Chicago right there with this nice little stadium.
That's on the Bears website?
It's on the Bears website. So it's like
I don't see.
the Bears want this to
I
happen.
don't know. There's some IT guy currently in Lake Forest building a Naperville.
Well, they do own the land.
Yeah. I mean, Arlington Park, you can go on arlingtonpark.chicagobears.com. Shows you all right there. It's happening.
All right.
Bear down.
Last point. Let me know when the town hall meeting in Naperville is with the real estate development group in there showing off all those renderings and the studies that they did and presented. True or not, the final numbers on that. That stuff isn't cheap. They put a lot of money into that already.
A lot of stuff going into this. Yeah.
It's not easy to draw up somebody who's got
My point is, you can resell the land. You can't. You're not getting all that money back that they've already invested in coming up with the plans, having that town hall meeting, which at this point was
When was
9 months ago. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how Carm isn't coming up with the exact date. I mean, it's him and Braggs. It's their pivotal moment in their
September
relationship.
I can give you the exact date.
All I know is that
September 8th, 2022.
Wait, I was moving. I just moved in that day, so that meeting was happening.
it was great. Me and Braggs were imagining being on one of the paddle boats while Bears fans were walking over the bridge to walk into their beautiful new stadium in Arlington Heights, because that's what's going to be happening on game day.
Carm fell asleep at that meeting.
We know he likes to take naps in large venues.
They got on the show the next day and made fun of me for taking all the notes I took.
Who didn't fall asleep at that meeting? That meeting was horrible.
I enjoyed it.
Hoge was sitting there like it was...
I was very annoyed it was during the season opener between the Rams and the Bills.
Freshman history.
38 weeks
Madison,
ago.
Wisconsin, Hoge. All right, move along.
Okay. You move along.
It's not my choice.
It's a good song.
All right.
Move along.
Justin Fields traveling the continental United States to go to his teammates' events.
But first...
Oh, we're doing that first?
Yes, but first...
Okay. I wasn't going to take a break here.
I mean, I'm following the clock.
Oh, you are.
Meticulous.
Clock,
You
the
always
clock.
do that, yeah. Yeah, you and the clock.
Start of the week.
You're
Start
just
the week right.
you don't even need a watch. You're just a human
I mean, I
clock,
probably
always on time,
I
always in sync.
Who was here first today, Hoge?
Not me.
I mean,
I was first to
I
just
opened
give up
the
on the
office.
Kennedy
it
construction.
was neither of you. It was Nick.
That's true. It was Nick. I was in
Like
second
by
place.
a long amount of time. I mean, he beat me here.
C's
I
get
recorded
degrees.
a video in there in Studio B.
Oh yeah, I haven't posted that. Sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
What
That
video
should
were
be
you
K-Duck's.
recording?
That should be K-Duck's job.
It's content, man. All about creating content.
Nick falls out of bed and just...
This is why we have a meeting at 8:30 to go over this stuff.
it came up after the meeting, so I just
Now Hoge upset
upset about content.
by meeting withholds.
Meeting withholds. And that meeting needed to end anyway. All right. CHGO supported by Goose Island Beer Company. Chicago's beer since 1988. Of course, just an outstanding roster that's better than any roster that our city has elsewhere. Sports, that's for sure. You got the Goose IPA, 6-time medal winner at the Great American Beer Fest. Always in style. You could say it's the quarterback of the beer roster. I think you could say that. Tropical Beer Hug, dry hopped Imperial IPA with 9.9% alcohol. It's dangerously easy to drink. Maybe that's the offensive line
Okay.
of the roster.
Feels like a...
Yep.
312, just your go-to number one wideout.
DJ Moore.
I like
Loves
Full
it.
pocket pills, your new flavor of the year. Maybe your
Tight end. Is that your tight ends? Your...
Jermaine Edmonds.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, pretty solid pickup, I'd say. Great addition to the roster. Big on the full pocket pills. Solid beer. Grab ultra fresh brewer exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park. That's what they should just turn Goose Island, not Goose Island Brewery, but the actual physical island into the stadium.
Can't, man. That's already done. Salt Shed's there now. All the other Lincoln Yards crap they're coming up with. That was another big problem. Keep going.
Now, if I wanted to listen to everything you just said, ignore it, and then repeat my idea, that would be what Carm's doing with Soldier Field.
Wow.
Or their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown, Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
I got to tell everybody about ComEd. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
That's right, Nick. And let me tell you something. As I'm very focused here about ComEd offering a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across the territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help energy-saving opportunities like for HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes.
A lot there to go over, Mark. How does it all work?
So, as you know or may have forgotten, but now you'll be remembered that an authorized engineer is going to work with you, and that person will develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a detailed report showing the energy efficiency projects they can start working on immediately, and each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, cost savings, project costs, potential incentives, and a simple payback. If you own a business or are thinking about building one in Arlington Heights, don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Let me make sure I got that right. You said ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
You betcha, Nick. ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Schedule it today.
All right, so Jaylon Johnson told the world late last week that he's coming to OTAs. He's been dealing with some business stuff, his charity stuff. And he did post on Instagram 17 hours ago that Kevy's Vision first annual golf tournament fundraiser was a huge success. Looks like this went on, I don't know, recently over the weekend, something like that. But he does mention in the Instagram post, and by the way, congrats to Jaylon Johnson for putting that on for a good cause, and those things are a lot more work than they sound like to put on a golf tournament fundraiser. But he mentions in his post that Justin Fields came out to the event. Thank you, Justin Fields, for coming to Fresno, being a part of the vision to help empower.
Looking good, too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. For those who are watching on YouTube, or maybe for those who are listening, Justin Fields looks like Andre the Giant next to Jaylon Johnson there. He looks enormous.
He is bigger. Yeah, for sure.
He's a big dude.
But it just goes to show, like, QB1 is teammate 1. He's everywhere. Doesn't matter where you're at, what's going on. Justin Fields is there to support. Last year he was at Tevin Jenkins' wedding in Valley View, Texas. This weekend, supporting Jaylon Johnson for, the golf outing, and which means a lot to Johnson. And obviously he's been under the news lately for missing 2 OTA practices, but some other things going on in Jaylon Johnson's life. But Justin Fields makes time to make sure he's there to support his teammates, and I think that resonates with all the other guys in the locker room, knowing that your quarterback, he's going to support you.
Yeah, and a couple things with it, too. Jaylon Johnson does not play offense. He's not trying to, build a bond with somebody that he's going to be throwing the ball to. Jaylon Johnson missed the first 2 OTAs and is looking for a contract. QB1 going out of his way to travel across the country to go play some golf and to hang out with his teammate. It's impressive to me. I love it.
See, my biggest takeaway is that Jaylon Johnson has a Chicago Bears golf cart, or somebody does.
Yeah,
That's also true.
good cart.
Out there in California. It's a pretty badass golf cart.
That means he's staying, right?
Yeah, Bears.
Yep, there you go. Yeah.
He's got the cart. You can't leave when you got a cart.
You can't just repaint that to
Whatever team you'd want to go to.
Dallas Cowboys.
That'd be messed up.
You actually could put a Bills there, and it was
You definitely easily could. I'm just screwing around.
But that's.
Can I play devil's advocate for half a second?
Yep.
How dare you?
Don't do it.
Don't you?
They don't like it.
Don't you?
If my buddy invited me out to California to play in a golf tournament, I'd probably do it. If my buddy invited me to his wedding, I'd probably go.
QB1's he's busy though. Busy guy.
Yeah.
He's always working out, doing something.
You're telling
I'm just playing around. This is good stuff that that Justin's doing.
you can go down the other.
Your guy Jay Cutler probably.
Go to California? No.
He probably would.
Did you see the picture of him? He took a picture, hunted a bear.
That's right. Jay Cutler's out there murdering bears.
Yeah, which
Justin's bonding bears together.
see the difference
Keeping
there?
them
That's a big
around.
difference.
Just the symbolic nature of it.
I like that.
Listen, QB1, my QB1, hallelujah. I won't sing it for you today, but
Throwback.
that dude is my dude. Just going out there, sitting in a golf cart, swinging, living, dreaming. Super Bowl, Super Bears.
All right. Robert Lee's $10 super chat. Carm, please explain why you think Jaylon Johnson is the top NFL cornerback, as you said during the NBC broadcast last week. Please tell us what's your reasoning behind that statement. Thanks.
Robert, thank you for watching Carm in all Carm forms. Carm appreciates you.
No car forms.
But
Guessing you didn't say that.
I did not say that, Robert. There's no way I said that. And if I did say that, then it needs to be deleted because that's not what I said. I said one
Bears.
of.
Okay.
I'll put him in the top half for sure. You can, I think, argue top 10. But I never said he's the top cornerback in the NFL. That'd be incredibly moronic, even for me. Thank you, Robert
I mean,
Lee.
if he was, there wouldn't be any contract like this. Like there would be a new contract if he was in that, I guess, level of cornerbacks. But that's not where Jaylon Johnson. He's probably maybe just outside top 10. I would put, but because there's a lot of guys in the NFL that can make it. They made a lot of turnovers. One knock on Jaylon Johnson right now. Doesn't quite do that.
Swift dropped in here and said that Jay skipped Brandon Marshall's wedding. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, that is true.
It is?
Yes, they both talked about it on you didn't come to my wedding.
Well, point proven then.
Jay Cutler.
We don't even need to prove that point. We know that Jay is about Jay is about Jay is about Jay.
Yeah. Where does Swift, though, rank in the, like, Taylor Swift,
Oh, the Swifts?
all-time Swifts?
DeAndre Swift? Sweet.
Ta-
I'm trying to think of other Swifts.
Stromile.
Stromile Swift.
Sarah Swift was my girlfriend's roommate at Iowa, and I would like to apologize to her for some of the things that she witnessed.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Does she have any connection to Vlad Dogopolov?
I can't get Dogopolov. We can't put Dogopolov alongside Sarah, but that's too much for me. Okay. Can we just please get a second of Leonard Floyd in here and then get away from all the Swifts?
Sure. Yes. What do you want to say about Leonard Floyd, who is now a Buffalo Bill?
Wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt?
1 year deal, 9 sacks last year, former Bear. We need some edge rushers. I'm fine with it. Whatever. No big deal. Third down specialist, best spot for him. But I don't know. We gonna sign anyone? I think every time an edge rusher jumps off the board right now, you have that at least somewhat that reaction.
Well, what was noticeable or notable to me, I guess, waking up to that news that Leonard Floyd signed was just I wonder if there's going to be some more movement here picking up with some of these guys. I don't think Leonard Floyd was a fit for the Bears. He was barely a fit in the last Bears defense, and this being a 4-3, don't think that made a whole lot of sense. But if we're talking about Yannick Ngakoue, who I think a lot of people can see as a fit, maybe this picks up the market just a little bit. Any type of movement is always interesting. And so maybe something happens there. We did hear from Flus that said they're interested in a lot of free agents.
At all positions.
At all positions?
Yep.
That really clears it up.
That's a loose answer if I've ever heard one right there.
But he could have said we're happy with our roster right now.
Which he didn't.
He didn't back down on the idea of adding guys. So
It's the first domino effect. That kind of puts the Bears into a situation to maybe get another edge rusher.
Good landing spot for good old Leonard. Josh
He's backing you up.
Dalkey. Carm, I think you said he's the number one cornerback, and you were going to say on the Bears,
Makes sense.
but the other dude, cut you off.
It's awesome.
That would make sense, perhaps, then. I definitely did not call him the number one cornerback in the NFL. That thought has never crossed
the
my
number
mind.
one cornerback on the Bears.
He is he's CB1.
CB1.
QB1.
But on this topic of pass rush, I'm glad we got here because this is what Flus had to say, and there was a term in there in our Flusosophy that I wanted to get to. So I'm glad we got here because we have a new Flus word to add to the Flusosophy glossary.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Is that on AllCHGO.com. I feel like it should be.
It should be. We should
We
make
need to
this a
update it.
thing.
We need- okay.
The
Yep.
Flusosophy glossary.
I like that. It's got a good ring to it.
It does.
Green Rush. The pass rush team. They call the pass rush team. Green Rush.
Okay.
Whole podcast is full circle back to Rush.
The Green Rush.
The Green Rush?
Green Rush greater than Rush.
Yes.
Hopefully.
No
Hopefully
offense,
this season.
Esquire.
But Flu said Travis Gibson's got to keep competing. We've brought some guys in. We might bring in some other guys. Brought in some D tackles and all that. We'll find out where the Green Rush is, our pass rush team in passing situations. We'll put our best four out there. We'll probably have 2 more guys that will rotate in that rush group. But it's just all about competition now. So the point there from a coaching standpoint and how the roster is constructed on defense is they do have a specific rush team. And so if you're going to knock a guy like Yannick Ngakoue for not necessarily being the best rush defender, that doesn't mean that he can't be signed to be part of the Green Rush team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that would make a lot of sense, especially I saw a tweet over the weekend. The Bears still lead the NFL in cap space. And
money.
any one-year deal is not going to set them back for this year. It's not going to set them back for next year. It's only going to help this team, this defense. And so I've said this many times. I think there is going to be an addition somewhere here, and I just think the context of what Flu said, how they build the defense, how they look at their packages within the defense, it may not necessarily be a player not necessarily being great against the run. I don't think is going to be a hindrance necessarily from them signing someone.
No, I think that's right there, Adam. I see Jay Saunders brings up Gibson getting cut. I don't think of that, but Gibson's not playing both sides, so we're talking about the best team for that Green Rush team, that pass rush. Like for Travis Gibson, maybe that means just competition. Like Eberflus mentioned that, but he could be competing for the other side. You also got to factor in DeMarcus Walker's here, so he's going to be looking to want to solidify one of those spots. Dominique Robinson had a slow, I would say, play to his season after that first game. So I think they're going to try to figure out which guys give us that best opportunity to best rush the quarterback, that Green Rush team, and be most effective. So guys are going to be playing in different spots, and they're always going to put the best guys out there. That's kind of like that's the Bears' philosophy and all this stuff.
Why not blue and orange rush? Why did he go green?
Green means go. Go get the quarterback.
Go.
Why can't blue mean go for their whole...
Have you ever seen a blue stoplight?
Again, with your...
You ever seen a stoplight that goes red, yellow, green, blue?
Have you ever seen water flowing? The blue water flowing like a wave
Yes.
to the quarterback?
From the land of sky blue waters.
The only water I've ever seen on a football field was rain
Week
at Soldier
one.
Field in week 1.
Doesn't green
And it slowed down the pass rush.
doesn't green make you think Green Bay, blue, orange, Bears? Does Flus need to change Green Rush to Blue Rush? That's what we should
What do
be
you think,
thinking
Chad?
about the rest of our day as we leave the podcast and go on to other days of work.
See, now I have to spend the rest of my day thinking about how dumb that was.
Wow.
I think it was brilliant. You might want to think about how you were lacking creativity and color today on the show and try to be better tomorrow.
Well,
This is
tomorrow is going to be a great day
Tomorrow is going to be a great day.
because one of my favorite Bears and a personal friend of mine, Rasheed Davis, is going to be here in studio with us. He's got a fascinating football career to talk about. Some great things he does off the field in his business life. Of course, coaching at Carmel Catholic High School as well. And he was just one of the, like, what would you call him? Like, it's just one of the fun Bears.
Reliable.
It doesn't get nearly as much of attention. Special teams.
Mm-hmm.
He caught some big touchdowns for the Bears, too.
He did.
Made big plays, great guy, huge competitor, super interesting. super exciting that he's coming in.
And very energetic human being who I know has lots of thoughts on the Bears, too. So we're excited to have Rasheed Davis in here tomorrow and right here at noon. We'll be ready to go. Wednesday is another OTA practice if you're looking ahead in the week, so we'll have you covered on Wednesday. It is a Brags After Dark week, too. So we got that coming up in the later. It's a big week here, as they all
Busy
are
week
here at CHGO.
And next week's minicamp. Let's go.
Continues.
It's officially summer.
Okay.
Don't be too excited. All right, follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at the Carm, at Nicholas Moreano. Please hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend. Do it for Taylor.
Taylor.
Do it for all the Swifts out there.
Think outside the box. Dream it big. Go for the gold. And the blue and orange.
The blue and orange.
That's how you should live the rest of your day. By the way, we are CHGO softball tonight. There will be live reports coming out from multiple Twitters. Nick is claiming that he can play short,
I can play everything.
left, first, lead off. So he's going to do it all tonight.
Do you have enough players?
We do have enough players, but we could use somebody, so feel free to hit me up.
Could
Except for
use
you, Philip Pizzatola. Great show, except Carm. Can Carm keep a thought? Philip, actually, you're invited tonight. Come on out, buddy. We could use...
That's how desperate he is.
we need somebody. If you can hit, we'll take you. Kevin Wells, who works here and at WGN Radio, is in the building and apparently is playing for WGN Radio over CHGO.
Yeah, that's messed up.
So
Yeah,
There's Kevin.
So Kevin is here, working here.
I will say he sent a great meme this morning in the company Slack, which I immediately forwarded to Dave Ennett.
You could come out on set here, Kevin, and just show your face. And
First of all, don't invite this guy on set. He's got a Marquette shirt on, and he's playing for WGN Radio.
I've invited Kevin to play any position and be at the top of the order and play for CHGO. Have I not?
The offer's on the table. We're talking to our people about it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're going to have a trade before tonight's game?
Talking.
We're talking.
Yeah.
Depends on the contract. Depends on the playing position. We want the best situation possible.
If you would like me to represent you,
Right, I've given you a blank contract with the blank.
I feel like you have a lot of leverage.
I've given you a blank contract with a blank offer. You're going to go with a guy over there that's going to put you in the bottom of the order and play right field, but that's your choice.
Who runs the WGN team these days?
Ernie Scatton, complete fraud.
I can't do this.
He's always
to
asking
Ernie.
for you, Adam.
They'll have me in the cleanup role tonight right now, so I don't know. We'll see where Carm wants to put me, but I don't know.
So
I have too many conflict of interest here. I will not represent.
I know you're not going to be there,
Kevin,
but
'cause you can't do that
that's
to
right.
Ernie.
I mean, when did you work at WGN? What years?
2014 to 2020.
Right, and I started there in 2007.
And also interned there in 2008.
I mean,
Worked there in 09.
I've been in there 07 till still do occasional stuff over there. Wells has been there for 5 minutes. Wants to play for GN over like two like GN long timers. Oh,
That is
there we
true.
go. They're the
They're
champs.
champs.
There's
They're
the
the champs.
now just all becomes
Now,
all-
if I miraculously make it there tonight, I have an old sweet WGN Radio softball jersey.
You're just going to rip it on the field.
Should I wear it while playing for CHGO? Ooh. Just to like rub it in.
that'd be amazing. That's what we're
Just
looking
like that
for.
would be straight trolling, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, I'll film
Should
it
I
all.
do that?
Yep.
Yep.
Get in their heads. Ernie will kill me.
We love Ernie. If
By the way, for Hogan John's listeners out there, you should know Ernie Scadden, the voice of our opens on Hogan John. That's who we're talking about.
Wasn't he on this show after the softball last year?
We
After
did
the
have
game?
Ernie
Yeah.
on the show last year, too, to talk about the controversy that erupted.
Softball, man.
You guys need to
real.
settle down. Y'all need to settle down.
the big story in tomorrow's show is how well does Nick play shortstop tonight? And
Put that pressure.
I'll
You
take
are-
the pressure.
You
I'll
are a
succeed.
terrible manager. First of all, you had the game time wrong. Otherwise, I could have been there tonight.
I put it
Nick
in a
had to
little
come
late
up with the game
yesterday.
time.
might have
And now you're putting pressure on you. You're doing like the pregame interview or like, yeah, big game tonight for our shortstop. If he F's up, we're going to bench him.
If you not see Itanya? Itanya was driven to be the greatest Tanya ever. That's what I'm doing with Nick. I'm like Itanya's mom.
Nick.
Nick. I believe you. You don't understand the brilliance of me. Do you think I wanted you out there right now? You haven't played softball in 10 years.
If I showed up tonight, you'd put me in the leadoff spot.
It could be a bench clear tonight, Dylan. Come on out, Mozart Park. We'll be there 9 o'clock.
All right.
Goose Island will be served.
Have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow right here, back in studio. Rasheed Davis in the house. Looking forward to it. Talk to you then.